Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakil. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? And yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runneth over, and surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Amen. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday. Welcome to Johnny's Bite. Juma Mubarak to all our Muslim brothers and sisters. Today, when you go to the mosque, pray and pray for Ghana, because it is important that you do, and pray for yourself as well. And if you have some more time, pray for me, because I need it. This morning, I'd like to celebrate the young, intelligent, and beautiful Aya. And Aya yesterday graduated from the Jane Manor International School. And from all the siblings and everybody, they want to celebrate Aya because she was celebrated at school. So who are we not to celebrate? And in celebrating Aya, I'd also like to celebrate Ivan Beresford Parkwesi Obrimpong Hughes. Yesterday, he won an award at his basic school, as his early development school. I wouldn't want to mention the name, of course, put his picture up there. We know how vindictive we are as a people. Very, very vindictive and dangerous as a people. Now, let's go to Dansoman. Play for me that video. Play that video for me.
Bella, do you know the king of Ghana here today?
The king
of Ghana here today. You know?
That's the president?
No.
Who is it?
Okay, I'll give it to you.
Yes, please.
Johnnie Hughes.
Johnnie Hughes is the king
of Ghana.
Why do you call him the king?
He opened our eyes. He touches everywhere in Ghana here. He let us know exactly what is going in Ghana.
Yeah.
That is why I call him the king of Ghana.
Okay.
Why am I saying so? He is the only person who has been reporting this market that things are not well. But I don't think the people are listening. That is his scorecard. I'm giving it to him. So please, Bella, when you go and you have access to see the big men, tell them that Dansuma, we are crying. Things are costly. Things are not good at all.
Johnny's Bite. So that is what the street thinks, that I have opened their eyes. The question this morning is, have your eyes been opened to the realities on the ground? And do you buy any message that is thrown at you? Have your eyes been opened? And one of the things that maybe we haven't asked too many questions about, and maybe the right questions about, is a policy that was introduced to us by the government of the day, spearheaded by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, which was supposed to have improved our CD to dollar, relationship, or CD to foreign exchange relationship, supposed to have improved our economy, and also, most importantly, reduced how much we spend at the fuel pumps, is known as gold for oil. And so much noise was made about it. It was called a novelty. It was called an innovation. We got to know later that gold for oil is not just gold for oil, but it's gold and dollars, or gold and cash for oil. So our gold is going, our dollar is going, and yet when you go to the fuel station, you are paying more. So I saw a very funny cartoon, a very funny, a very funny video that I want to share with you. It depicts how gold for oil is. Because we're running our system. Suddenly, gold for oil comes into it. Play the video. Let's see the video. Johnny's Bite. And gold for oil is the substitute that was coming in. Right? The substitute that was coming in. Just play the video. Put it up there.
É roubo que vai entrar, é? Tá querendo entrar, porra. Bora, roubo. Ah, não, morreu.
Será que vai dar um pague logo?
So, gold for oil was on the touchline, and I'm sure he was telling the coach that fa ball no mommy. They say, okay, gold for oil, Kobo Kakra. Gold for oil He has not even touched the ball. Oh. He was, oh, Charlie. This is what gold for oil is. Because the transport operators of Ghana, they have indicated that on Monday, or beginning Monday, they are going to have a 15% increment on what you pay for your transport. Your salaries have not increased, but your bills are going up, and all you get is talk, paper leadership. Who was it that said that no action, talk only? Was it Mr. Alan Tremantin or Dr. Arthur Kennedy? I don't remember who, but I remember somebody had said NATO. No action, talk only. Paper leadership. And I'll demonstrate paper leadership to you very soon. There's a document that came from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. When this whole conversation about, it's an ongoing conversation about land grabbing. The grabbing of state lands and the state capture. And there's a trending video of Malik Basintale making the rounds where Deputy Minister seated next to him, who was previously on another network, was on Dr. Randy Abe's show, right? And he made all manner of noises, made accusations. He didn't have a single document to prove it. Then he sits next to Malik Basintale, right? And Sarah Mihir was the moderator of that conversation. And document after document of lands that he himself had grabbed. We were promised that we will not have a government of family and friends. Find that document for me on the Parks and Gardens land in Wa. That we were promised that we will not have any family and friends government. In fact, the erstwhile administration were criticized heavily, even though you can actually pinpoint the number of relatives and family and friends who were in the government. Yesterday, I mentioned 6 names from Hefra. Yesterday, I mentioned 6 names from Hefra. 6. Right? And I mentioned 6 names from Hefra. And then I said, oh, well, these people are suspected relatives, or could they be suspected relatives of Dr. Philip Bano, whose retirement came on the 17th of July and has refused to go home. Well, today also ends the 2-year contract extension of the Comptroller General of Immigration, Esia Techi, who has also refused to go home. Let the retirees go and let the young grow, because if you have a situation where you have 1.9 million idle hands who are young people, you are giving the Devil's Workshop a bill of 1.9 people, 9 million people to employ. You don't want to imagine it, especially knowing what the Afrobarometer has said about what people think about democracy. Please listen to me carefully again, without a prejudiced mind. I said we were promised that we won't have family and friends. 3FM. With the benefit of power, we are seeing family and friends in flesh and blood, right from the presidency down. The last time I remember Bolare asked that question, Mr. Gabriel Tridaku said they have gone to school. Their forebears made sure they went to school. So their classmates did not have forebears who had been in power before, who also had made sure that their children went to school, who are also equally qualified. Today, in every sector in our governance system, you have a relative of Nana Akufo-Addo or Dr. Bawumia there. In every sector. Today, in every single sector in the country, right from the presidency down, you have a relative, not a Bushia long sleeves, or direct, from his own children to his cousin, to his brothers, to his sisters, to baby mama, to whatever they have found. And this is the man who criticized that family and friends government will be a thing of the past. No principle. A leader who has no principle is a dangerous leader. It can never be trusted. Yesterday I mentioned the names to you. Hefra. Kofi Bano, who is a driver. There are intentions to move him up to the administrative management position. Kranchiwa Yankee, a younger sister of Kofi, now with the HR office at Hefra. Dr. Bano knows this. They're getting ready to elevate her to director of HR. Boedua Yankee is with the Inspectorate Department. Bismarck Bano is a supply officer. Francis Ano is a monitoring manager. Dr. Edwin Oredu is head of license, soon to be elevated to director of inspection. And watch it, they will play out like what played out at SNIT. And how did I know that these people are relatives, in fact, nephews and nieces of Dr. Philip Bano at Hefra? And they only got into Hefra when Dr. Bano became the registrar. Because there's a U.S. court document that I have, right? A U.S. court document that I have where some investments are supposed to have been made in the name of these relatives. And then some other sources who are here, who have known the family very well, who confirm that indeed, these are our children. So again, the lawyers who said they were going to sue me, we have ended the week. We'll start. Next week, we'll start another stream of Hefra. The documents are there. We will go another stream. Now, yesterday I started something on the University of Ghana. Today I'll hold on, because there are some things I have to do quickly. And then we'll come back to it maybe. Parks and Gardens. This was what came from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources on land grabbing. Now it says the land in question, located at Dobile, Kampabi Pani residential area in the Wa municipality, forms part of the land vested in the President of the Republic under Section 10 of Administration of Lands Act 1962, Act 123. Please project it for me on the screen. The applicable law at the time, with notice of occupation dated the 27th of November 1973. By a certificate of allocation, the land was granted to Parks and Gardens for user rights only. On 19th of July 2019, one Saidu Mohammed Kiram applied for a portion of the land, which is supposed to be for Parks and Gardens, measuring approximately 0.44 acres, which was at the time underdeveloped. Why? I don't know. Has Parks and Gardens said they don't need it? I don't know. An inspection conducted by the Lands Commission in August 2019. July, it was applied for. Quickly in August, there was an inspection. Following the application, showed that the place was undeveloped, but occupied by ruminant dealers whose activities, and this is in bold print, made the whole environment nasty, nuisance, and rampant from other social vices, especially in the night. It was therefore recommended that the land be granted to an investor who will develop it to acceptable standards. Is he going to plant flowers or do Parks and Gardens job? The Lands Commission then applied to the Wa Municipal Assembly for rezoning of the land for commercial purposes. The Assembly rezoned the land for commercial purposes. On 27th of January 2020, the Lands Commission made an offer to Saidu Mohammed Kiram, which offer was accepted, leading to the execution of a lease dated 1st July 2020 in favor of Saidu Mohammed Kiram for a term of 50 years. The Wa Municipal Assembly approved Mr. Kiram's application to use the land for a fuel filling station. Now, this is the last part. The land has since been developed into a filling station serving the needs of the people of Wa and its environs. Keep this in your head. The land has since been developed into a filling station serving the needs of the people of Wa and its environs. Now, show me a video of that filling station. Yes. You show me the video of the filling station that is supposed to be serving the people of Wa. This fuel station that does not even have one pump. And I'm not sure you find attendants there. And the argument that was made before the land was given was that it was looking nasty, etc. How is this place that doesn't have, a single pump? How is it serving the people of Wa and its environs? And this falsehood was injected into a public document by a person paid by our taxes, who used to be a deputy chief of staff, is now a minister of state, even with oversight responsibility of the Ministry of Energy, a cabinet minister for that matter. Sometimes they make us regret advocating for young people to be given opportunities. How is this filling station? If I drive to Wa now, I get to Dobile, can I go there now and buy fuel into my car? If ever my car runs out of fuel. Dobile, how do I go there and go and get fuel? But the last line, bring the last line back. The minister said, and this was on an official letterhead, the minister said that the land has since been developed into a filling station serving the needs of the people of Wa and its environs. This is the empty bottle you have there. Now, take me to Parliament. This is from one cabinet minister telling the whole country a big fat lie. Then take me to Parliament. A question was asked about the land of the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development. And the video we're about to play for you, right, will indicate to you how another cabinet minister insisted in Parliament. Again, it is a House of Record, and there's the Hansard insisted in the House of Parliament that as far as he is aware, as the minister, a cabinet minister, so the lands minister is a cabinet minister, local government minister is a cabinet minister. They said that the same table, either Dr. Baumia or Nana Akufo-Addo will chair those meetings, and both of them they can't find the same hymn book to be singing from on the issue of land grabbing. I told you on Tuesday that when they start equalization, when they start injecting falsehood into the narrative, know that your land is gone, and check who is behind that grabbing of that land. It's gone. It's gone, it's gone. Your land is gone. The forebears, if they had this level of greed, an insatiable desire to grab and own everything, would there have been any left? I always say this. I said, if Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had grabbed even a quarter of what is being grabbed and chopped, nyafu, as President Kufuor said, his children, Samia, Sekou, and the late Francis Nkrumah, all of them, they would, the money they would have, you would have no idea. Listen to him.
The developer has a valid land title document, deed of lease, covering the portion developed into a fuel filling station, and must be noted as such. Because of this letter, the regional minister appears helpless, and the developers are continuing to encroach and build this fuel filling station. Is the Honourable Minister aware of this development, and what are you doing to protect the parks and gardens land in Wa and get these encroachers to back off? I'm grateful to speak.
Yes, Honourable Minister. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I did indicate earlier that the land in contention is covered by a certificate of allocation dated 27 November 1975 to the state. On the basis of this, we reject the claim by the Regional Lands Commission. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, we are not aware as a ministry of any decision by the state to relinquish its interests in the land. If that were to be the case, it should have been before this House. On the basis of that, we still believe that the land still holds as a property of government, parks and gardens for that matter, and we intend to reclaim it back to the state.
Two ministers,
Johnny's fight.
two positions of record, and Parliament is a house of record. So people will come back 20, 30 years from now and pick the Hansard and read it, and their understanding will be that, oh, the land was not given off at the time. It remains the property of the government at the time when the Minister for Local Government was in Parliament addressing a specific question which had been admitted by the Speaker relative to that portion of the land. 20, 30 years, that lie would be in the Hansard. We are now injecting falsehood into the narrative because all we have given the people is paper leadership. Listen to the wife of the Vice President, Samimbar Baumia. We would want to listen to her briefly. But before that, let's talk about Napco a bit, right? The Nation Builders Call. Big announcement. It was at the Independence Square. They had a 1-year anniversary at the National Theatre. The thing was touted. You'll be giving permanency. They were promised. The promises have started again, oh. The indication that some of us get from the deep-throated sources is that some 3 months of what is owed them will be paid. And usually when it starts, they start with a back and forth. So they have written to the finance ministry demanding for what is owed them. The finance ministry said, oh, you know, your Napco thing is not that so. Your thing was under the jurisdiction or the purview of the presidency. So please go and ask the presidency. It doesn't concern us. Go and actually ask the president. That's what they're telling the same people who were told to remember me. Today, they can't be remembered. They can't be remembered. Today, the government is so embarrassed that when it is talking about achievement, even on the so-called performance tracker, that now is not tracking and has backtracked so many times. Napco is not. Let's listen to Mrs. Baumia. Let's listen to her.
Assalamu alaikum. Are we ready for a new president?
Yes.
Are we ready for honest leadership?
Yes.
Are we ready for a competent leader?
Yes.
Omanpenyi mama said, Ghana and Chani area fearsome. Ewa Musana. On Wednesday, when we take our ballot paper, we will remember 8 years of corruption. They will remember Wyoming. They will remember Sada. We will remember Suba. We will remember Bass Branding. We will remember all the monies they have appropriated to themselves on Wednesday. When we take our ballot paper, on Wednesday, we will remember the arrogance of the NDC government. We will remember their lies. They've insulted doctors. They've insulted teachers. They've insulted nurses. They've insulted ordinary citizens of Ghana for asking them how they are using our money. We will remember that the 200 senior secondary school they couldn't build. We will remember that under NDC, various stages of completion means bare land and a billboard. We will remember the almighty incompetence. We will remember that they have doubled the interest rate in 4 years. We will remember that when they took over, the exchange rate was 1.2 to $1. Today it's 4.3 to $1. We will remember that they haven't solved Doomso after 5 years of hardship. We will remember all of their incompetence and mismanagement. And more importantly, when we take the ballot paper on Wednesday, we will remember that Ghana is a great country. It's a country that deserves a great leader. Amado Dankwe Kufuado, Osorbe Yenshishe, Papa Mahon. Abani Akochi $35 million. Dorbesi factory Amahon. Where's the factory area in the still in Mebunye Jumanya? One to Abana man and Ebu for the number Mahone Jumanya of 15 mountain. Gamen. Oh, Mommy, Auntie Rebecca Kufuado. Eke Ewunana Adodankwe Kufuado, Nyanya Konta. Eke Beba Chuni Ehanye. Koni Ohiane Bolewo. Amane Hune Bolewo. Neba Jewa Yami. Niwa Fenwa Yawa here.
See, if I continue this, I'm not sure that Haja will have a nice day. Because Nana Kumi has told us that when we play those videos, Dr. Baumia gets disturbed. But I have a very simple task for you. Go on Twitter. Hajia Baumia is on Twitter. Hajia Samira Baumia is on Twitter. She's on Facebook. Ask her what she remembers. Tag her with this video and ask her, Hajia, what do you remember? Just a simple question. Don't go and fight. Don't go and insult. Just ask Hajia, Hajia, what do you remember? Because she was asking us to remember things. If we start to remember, I'm sure we can start from PDS and come all the way and come and end at a Japa deal and go all the way and go to SkyTrain and go all the way. We can remember so many things that we will even forget that the list will be exhausted and then we will still have extra sheets from the invigilator. So ask Hajia simply, what does she remember today? Play Dr. Baumia's video for me. 2015, play.
Look at what is happening in Ghana today, and you will have no conclusion but the fact that this NDC government is the most incompetent, uncaring, and corrupt government this country has ever seen. Why do I say so? Last night, I received the news, as all of you have received, that upon all the troubles we are going through and trying to survive this phenomenon that they have inflicted upon us for the last 3 years, they have decided to increase the price of fuel by 9%. How uncaring can you be? This is the government that said, I care for you. Where is the care? Don't you have any empathy for the suffering of our people? You have to increase in this period where people are trying to buy diesel, to run generators, businesses and individuals. This is your thank you to them, to increase further the price of petrol and diesel and other fuels. And this is why we are saying this is the most uncaring government.
That was Dr. Bawumia in 2015. We don't want to talk about the exchange rate that Mrs. Samira Bawumia spoke about. We don't want to talk about fuel price increases because now almost every week, maybe every 2 weeks, it goes up. We don't want to talk about cost of living. We don't want to talk about those things. Now, I told you about Napco. There's a Nana Kumia video. I interviewed him personally. Play the video and what he thinks about this whole Napco and how it is to the government. Play that video for me, please. Nana Kumia, what is your message to the Napco people?
What's the problem?
They are old arrears. They say you have abandoned them. These days, you don't even talk about them as an achievement of job creation.
It's a stigma that government must correct quickly.
And who corrected? Dr. Bawumia has the opportunity to correct it. Dr. Ibrahim Anyas, who was at the helm of affairs at Napco, is in his campaign team with you.
I'm saying that government should correct it quickly.
How?
It's an embarrassment by paying them. And I'm hoping that they'll be paid very soon.
Hoping that they'll be paid very soon. It's an embarrassment. It's a stigma. Our last letter will be the response of the Ministry of Finance to the Napconians. Now remember that the one in charge of the Ministry of Finance now, a very nice man, Dr. Amin Adam, was the Minister of State in charge of the Finance Ministry. What that means is that he used to work at the presidency or from the presidency. That's what the Minister of State literally means. That your desk is at the presidency, because Ken Oforiatta will not get off his chair for you, Mr. Dr. Amin Adam, to come and sit down. So now if Dr. Amin Adam's ministry, who is now in charge of the ministry, is telling them that go and ask the president, like the guys will say, I know Abi, the guys will say, it's too early. Go and ask your grandfather. Now, but put a letter up for me. Let's read that. That's our final letter, and then we can pick calls.
Johnny's Bite.
The Finance Ministry writes on the 11th of July, 2024. It says, Ray, petition to pay our 8 and 9 months arrears. We acknowledge receipt of your letter dated the 5th of February. They wrote in February. The ministry is now responding in July because elections, they come. The Napco people, remember me, wrote in February. They were responded to in July. So March, April, May, June, 4 months interval. It says that petitioning this ministry to pay 8 and 9 months arrears of the S1 Napco trainees under the then Napco program, copy attached. The Nation Builders Corps Napco was under the office of the president, and therefore any outstanding payments on the program will have to be validated and submitted to the Ministry of Finance by the office of the president. We advise you you route your petition through the office of the president for onward submission with the requisite supporting documents to the Ministry of Finance. Today they say they don't know them. Today they say they don't know them. But it was the same Napco people who were getting paid by Mr. Ken Oforiatta, even when he went to read the budget and was telling us how much had been allocated to Napco beneficiaries. Today he says, we don't know you. Go to Mr. President. He came to bring you people. We were sitting somewhere. We don't know you. Go. Yeah, yes, sir.